Okay, welcome to my EM launcher planet. Okay. This planet is an ice-filled jelly soul. I think that's how you pronounce it. As you can see, it's got loads of materials on it. However, what I've done, and I've done it to both of the planets in this system, is I've buried all the veins, so I'm not tapping any of those, and I've covered up any kind of dips that might prevent placement of a blueprint, and I have just canvassed the surface area with sail launchers. Fans of my previous videos will recognise some of these layouts. The polar region seems to be pretty standard when I'm making these planets now. It has a PLS in the middle, then two rings of the rail guns, and then the solar panels. The solar panels are there mainly to fill the gap left. When pasting the blueprint rings, there's an issue with the tropic line around there, but also the swing arcs of the guns. It won't let you paste them. And again, a similar sort of problem here, and I thought perfect place to put the receivers. Okay. Now the next challenge was to make sure they were all fed. So I've positioned throughout the fields. We've got these ones just simply importing from the factory planet all of the sails, distributing to these little ones. Because I don't want to run out, then I've got several of these dotted around the place. Okay, at the moment I haven't set them to collect anything because I want to show it in its off state. So as you can see, there's also my standard 2D planetary ring of solar panels. That's been standard now for a lot of new planets, but I'm thinking I'm going to need to move away from them simply because the power supplied by them is not enough to supply these kind of planets, but also because the factory planet itself is now producing enough antimatter for these guys, the artificial stars. There's 26 here in this little field, which I'm hoping will be enough to get the planet going, and then the receivers will kick in when the swarm is built, which will complement everything. Total, I have 1,821 sail launchers, and that should be able to produce a decent sized swarm. I'm hoping that this will reduce my build time of Dyson spheres enough, mainly because, as you may have seen from my previous time lapses, most of the time we end up waiting for the sails to finish. So like the build will be done in like an hour and a half from the structure point of view. Then the sails can take another hour to populate. So the plan would be that I will set these off first to create a nice swarm around the planet, around the sun, sorry. And then once I've got a nice significant amount there, we can start the rockets going and start the time lapse, and then watch the magic happen. Two concerns I've got is my supply line. Now I'm going to fill up each one of these all at the same time, as much as I can do. I've got my factory planet pushing out cells quite rapidly. If I can't produce enough, then I've got to consider dedicating another planet solely to producing sails. That'll be the next sort of escalation up. But if I can provide enough to keep this planet going without doing that, then I guess I'm onto a winner. It saves me a lot of time in the future. The second concern is the power. Do I have enough power to provide it all? Both these questions I think we're going to have to wait and see. Stay tuned. Okay, so welcome to the other planet in the solar system, and this is my rocket launcher planet. Okay, so at the moment, as you can see, it's clearly divided into two hemispheres. There is room for more, but considering that it contains 1048 rocket launchers powered by these guys, which are the 49 artificial stars. Okay, now the reason why I got so many is that they're not just powering the rocket launchers, because this planet was first targeted to be a deuterium factory, and you can have a closer look at that. That is 2 rings of fractionators which just go round the equator of the planet. Okay, and they are provided by regular intervals by top-ups which take away and provide the deuterium it takes away and the hydrogen it puts in. Okay, so that was the first purpose. So they needed quite a bit of power to power that. Now I'm going to be I have converted the whole planet into a massive rocket launcher facility. So I know other people have done this before, but this is my first attempt. And yeah, there is space there to put some more in, but I built the first half, which was the one on the right as we look at it now, and then blueprinted it over to the other side. Okay, this had some challenges because I started at the poles, and because of the change in the positions, the latitude positions, it meant that the rocket launchers weren't sitting right, and I couldn't just cut and paste them all. Quite often I had to do one whole ring for each area, and then I was pasting it with like 6 or 7 at a time. So it took quite a bit of time doing the first half, but then I was able to cut and paste it and put on the second half, which is what produced this gap here. And I looked at it and thought, well, that should be enough. I guess we'll kind of find out. So now, instead of having the planetary systems which I had originally, I've upgraded them to interstellar stations, and that provides not just straight away import of the rockets, whereas the old system was that I'd have one interstellar which would provide to all the planetaries. That just didn't distribute enough, and I ended up, and this was even before I built the big planet, it ended up having a trickle effect, and I'm trying to go for the wave effect. So instead of having the PLS, the interstellar is a good way. I have souped up my factory planet to provide a quite significant amount of rockets. On this planet alone, I have 7 planetary stations and 5 interstellar. Right, and I believe, I can double check this, of all 5 of them are set up to receive both rockets and deuterium, except for this one, which was more the infrastructure. So this one's got no rockets, but this one does. Okay, and there's this, obviously this is a cut and paste like we did with the other system. This is going to be the same. Okay, I do have some rings here, and this was issues I had with trying to place rings of blueprint rings for each of the rockets. I'd say it looks quite neat until you get to the equator. Be interested to see what it looks like. So in theory, every rocket launcher will fire every 12 seconds. That means that every 12 seconds 1048 rockets are launched. Hopefully this means that my build time will be significantly reduced. I guess you'll keep watching to find out.
like choppers, better cook those risks. Cool, but in my fists we fire starters. One out of a million will reach those heights. Always had a feeling that I won't deny. Not work, never ties. Look in my eyes, I'm on the rise. A couple milli now, I'm causing a commotion. I've been coasting, hear my name around the world like an explosion.
So rise up, rise up. We are the apocalypse, and a pill that keeps us floating. As we fly above the stars, the night won't scare us falling. So rise up, I'm too great to the calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing. Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. The tides are changing. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? Ground beneath your feet, with a whisper in the tree. Do you feel us watching? Hunger in our eyes, victories on our minds. It's our time to rise. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution.